All right, so what I want to demonstrate is this project, GNP3. This is an alternative to Modbus, and the fundamental problem here is that there are no free simulators that are very good for this, as far as I can tell. What I was able to do, the OpenPLC runtime that we've already used it on Linux. This thing simulates both Modbus and OpenPLC 3. So all you do is install it on your Linux machine. Let me bring that up here. There. So I'll clear this. All right. And if I go up here, might as well make it bigger. All right. So after you do this git clone, there's just a start function here, and you can run it. So you just do sudo start. Now it's already running on mine. It seems to be starting, by the way, automatically on mine. Every time I do it, it tells me it's already running. Let's see if password. Yeah, so it is already listening on 8080 OpenPLC. So that's fine. I don't think I deliberately tried to make it start automatically, but that seems to be what's happening on my Linux system. Maybe it's just running because I revived it from going to sleep. But anyway, it's already running. So once you've got it going, we'll come back to here in a few minutes. Then you can just log in as you usually do. Just go to the IP address of your Linux machine on port 8080, and then log in the default username and password or OpenPLC. And once you get in, it's already running. I'm going to stop it so I can start it again. Okay, it stopped. When you start it, it's going to tell you listening on this port, and then it's going to tell you a DNP3 server is running on 20,000. So this thing is listening both for Modbus and DNP3 by default. So you don't have to do anything. It is listening for DNP3 signals. Now, the next thing you need is a DNP3 client simulator. And the only one I can find that works at all is this one. Let me go to my project instructions. All right, you have to go get this thing from SourceForge and just unzip it and install it, and you'll get this DNP3 simulator here that runs on Windows. Now, one of the many problems here is you only runs for 15 minutes and then shuts off, and you can see mine has stopped for this, the trial version. So I'm going to restart it again. At least they don't limit you to a total of 15 minutes. You just get 15 minutes before you have to restart it. And so if I run this, it is Freyer Skada. Seems to be the only company that makes a simulator that works at all. And so when this thing starts up, it tells me I got a trial version. Okay. Now, when you're here, it is simulating DNP3, but you don't have a client. You have to add a client. And when you do, it just fills your screen with all these numbers. And I'll tell you what I figured out. First, you got to put in your Linux server's IP address here. And I've got that, 172.16. So double click that, 172.16, 123.130. All right. And port 20,000 is the default. Now, the master is, in this case, the master is number 1 and the slave is number 10. And we'll see where this was set on the other end. But that's what you have to do to successfully communicate with it. Now, if you go here now to the Data Objects tab, you can now start communicating with the server. And when you do, you see it's sending a lot of packets through. And you can catch them with Wireshark and look at them. The part that is very disappointing is I couldn't find any way to read or write any data here. If you go to the OpenPLC window, which should have, here, there is no way to control it here. And when I read the documents, they say, that's right, there is no way to control it. There's just a configuration file. And when you start it, it reads once from that configuration file and connects, and that's it. And all that configuration file does is let you set things like the master and slave number that we just saw. So I might as well show you that. If you go into the web server directory here, this is all controlled by this file, dnp3.cfg. And if you look in there, It is very simple. All you do is your local address is 10, your remote address is 1, and there's just a few other parameters, not much of anything here. So that's pretty disappointing. And anyway, you can at least get the basic traffic that just makes the connection. But I can't get traffic where you're reading and writing or hack in with a traffic generator or anything. I haven't figured out how to make any of that fun stuff work yet. So in the project, all I did was have you capture the wire top in Wireshark and take a look at it. And one thing I didn't think of until this morning, right before class, is I looked online and I can find some real DNP3 traffic that other people captured and saved in PCAP files, and we can look at those, and I'm going to add them to this project. But it's not as delightful as actually having a realistic network where you can control it and then practice hacking into it. I have not figured out a way to do that yet for DNP3, but we are doing it for Modbus, so that may be all we're able to actually do with the hands-on in this class where we don't have any real physical equipment. Now, if we got some real Raspberry Pis or something and set up real physical devices, we could probably get these things working, and that might be another way to improve this class. But anyway,